Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me for practice today. We have a nice active practice. If you have any props, feel free to go and grab them. I would suggest a blanket or a towel or a yoga blanket like I have on the floor there, or any towel or anything like that is fine too. If you have a yoga bolster, you can grab that, or a pillow. And then if you want blocks, you can grab those. Or if you have heavy books or anything like that, just anything to bring the floor up to you. Thank you so much again for joining me for practice today. You can see I'm in a new room. We're going to try this out, see if this works a little bit better for sound and everything else. I also have Fritz here, so some things have not changed. He's still here. Um, yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and come to our mat in a nice, comfortable, cross-legged seat. If you have a blanket that you're using, this is a good place to use it. You can come and bring it to your mat just to sit on, and that's going to help raise your hips a little bit above your knees, and sometimes it's a little bit nicer. So we'll just come to a comfortable cross-legged seat. You can place your hands however you'd like. And we're just going to really ground and center ourselves and get ready for today's practice. Now today we're going to really practice on focus. So that's kind of our theme for today. I know we get a little, or at least I personally, I get a little ADD to where I'm here and there and I'm squirreling everywhere and trying not to get squashed by a car. So today we're going to really focus and breathe and just focus on ourselves and our bodies during this time. I know if you're practicing in real time, it is the holiday season right now. We're right in the midst of it. We're between Thanksgiving and Christmas. This weekend I have a family thing, so lots and lots of stuff going on. You can even see as I'm talking, I'm like, ah. So taking this time to really focus on yourself and giving yourself that self-care is really important, and it can help to ground you so that way you can get through all of these things we need to get through before the end of the year, to end it with a bang and really start the new year in a good spot. So let's drop our pin right here. Let's shut off the outside world. It's always still going to be there when we're done. So let's let that go. We're going to take our time here, focus on ourselves for a little bit of time, and then we can come off our mat, go back into the world, feeling more refreshed and being able to tackle whatever is left on your to-do list. All right, so let's do some yoga. All right, so your hands can be however feels right to you. You can soften your gaze if you'd like, or if you're comfortable, you can even close your eyes. And let's just focus on the breath. So inhale, really feel that air coming in through your nostrils. And exhale, feel it exiting out your mouth, or your nostrils, or just whatever feels right to you today. A few different ways that you can help increase your focus of the breath and not kind of be thinking of everything you have to do after or things that have happened before is as you inhale, you can just say silently to yourself, in. And as you exhale, you can say silently to yourself, out. If you don't like that option, you can focus on the sensation of the breath. So feeling that cool air enter your nostrils. And then on the exhale, feeling the warmth of the air as it exits your nostrils. Or you could even focus on the path that the breath takes through your body as it goes in through your nose, down through your throat, into your lungs, filling and expanding through your torso, belly, and then feeling all of that contract as you exhale. And there's no right or wrong, just do whatever works for you. And if your mind still squirrels away to something else, that's okay too. Let's take one more inhale here. A nice big exhale, emptying it all out. Letting all of that other stuff go. If your eyes are closed, you can slowly bat your eyelids open and kind of adjust to the world around you. It's very bright in here. And let's start to warm up the neck. So very slowly start to take some neck circles. So just really, really small. Don't crank your head all around. So just really tiny, like maybe the size of a dinner plate. So we'll go one way for a little bit. Remember to keep breathing as you do this. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and go the opposite way. Again, just keep it nice and small. Really feeling those muscles in your neck warm up. Stretch and contract. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and bring that to stillness. Okay, so from here, let's transition to our hands and knees. So to our tabletop position, I should say, that's just easier to say. This is another pose. So when you're in tabletop position, you can use the blanket to pad your knees if you'd like. And that's going to help if you have like a hardwood floor like I have. The mat's great, but it can still be hard on your knees. So if you have sensitive knees, definitely put a towel or a blanket or just whatever you have underneath it. It doesn't have to be an actual like yoga blanket. All right, I'm just getting that out of the way for now. All right, so make sure your arms are stacked underneath your elbows, knees underneath your hip points. And if you've practiced with me before, you know where this is going. So on an inhale, we'll drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tail, really stretching through that front body, coming into a cow pose. And on an exhale, go ahead and round through the spine, drop the tail, drop the head, coming into cow pose. Inhale, drop those lower ribs and belly, lift the tail, lift the head, cat or cow. Exhale, rounding through the spine, coming into cat. Go ahead and do a few more in your own breath cycle. And if one pose feels better to you, stay in it for a little bit. You don't have to immediately move to the next thing. We'll take one more here. So again, it's an inhale. We're going to drop those lower ribs and belly, lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale, round through the spine, drop the head, drop the tail, cat. And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and return back to our tabletop position. Now from here, let's go ahead and straighten, oops, we move up here, straighten our right leg back, keep your left knee bent, and then if you'd like, you can stay here, or you can lift your left arm out straight ahead. thumb up to the ceiling, like you're gonna shake somebody's hand. Now, if this feels good to you, you can lift that right leg up, coming into a little bird dog. Keep your toes pointed down towards the floor, and we'll just breathe. Turning on our spine and our core. One more breath here. And on an exhale, go ahead and come back to that tabletop position. Now, you can rock your hips side to side, or you can just stay in stillness. Just compare your two sides, see how they feel. Right, when you're ready, we'll go ahead and stretch our left leg out straight. Take a breath here. That feels good to you. Go ahead and straighten through your right arm like you're shaking somebody's hand, and breathe. And if you want to go another step further, let's go ahead and lift that left leg up off the ground, keeping our left toes dialed down, and breathe. So a little strengthening core work to start with. Take one more big inhale wherever you're at. And on an exhale, let's go ahead and lower back down to that tabletop position. All right, now so from here, we're gonna warm up our legs a little bit more in our arms and our back. So go ahead and step your fingerprints, or your palms, hands. Words are hard today. I need to focus, focus. I'm going to set them just one handprint above where they were. So if your hands were under here, like you're in a real true tabletop position, walk them just one handprint above. You don't want them directly under your shoulders. Go ahead and turn your toes under. So we're going to curl them under. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, go ahead and just lift the knees up slightly, hover. Take another big inhale. And on an exhale, straighten through the legs, lift your hips up, back, and down, and we're going to come into our first downward facing dog. Now, if you need to adjust your stance at all like I did, feel free to. From here, you can bend one knee and then straighten it and then bend the other. Just kind of walk your dog a little bit to warm up through those calf muscles and the hamstrings. And then once you're ready, go ahead and just come to stillness. We'll take just a couple breaths here. Your next inhale, look forward, rise up on your tippy toes. And then as you do that, and as you exhale, go ahead and start to bring your torso forward and then push back through your heels. Now we're in a plank pose. Snuck that into everything, huh? We'll just take a couple breaths here. If you're shaking, that's okay. One more inhale. And on an exhale, lift the hips, shift your weight up, back, and down, coming back into our downward facing dog. Yay! We weren't there very long. And then just breathe. After your next exhale, go ahead and look forward at your hands, and we're going to make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can hop, step, jump, float, however you would like to get to the top of your mat. Feel free to do that. You can take little baby steps. I'm going to take little baby steps. Till I reach the top of my mat. Now, for this first forward fold, go ahead and take your feet a little bit wider than hips width apart. Bend through the knees a little bit, and this is a good place where you can use blocks. So if your hamstrings are kind of tight like mine, you can use blocks to bring the floor up to you. And it can be on whatever height you need. Or if you don't have blocks, you can always just come up to more of a flat back position. Just make sure you're not pressing on your knees. All right, so once you are to the top of your mat, on an inhale, do go ahead and come up halfway. Keep your back nice and flat. And then on an exhale, let it all go. You should feel a nice stretch through your hamstrings. Take one more big inhale here. And then on an exhale, you can slowly rise up, coming into a mountain pose. So from here, go ahead and take a moment, fix your clothing if you need to. You can kind of get out any wiggles. And when you're ready, come into stillness. Your feet should be under your knee points under your hips, hips in line with your shoulders, head in line. So it should be one straight line, minus any accessories. So I like to roll my shoulders up, back and down, and really bring my chest up. Nice lift in my back, and breathe. Really feeling your feet on the mat. Take one more breath here in mountain pose. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and raise your arms up overhead. So we're coming into a volcano pose. You should feel a nice stretch in your side body. Make sure that you're not wearing your shoulders as earrings. So you want to make sure your shoulders are still back. Keep that nice lift in your chest and breathe. We'll take one more inhale here. Really reach. And then on an exhale, we will send our hips back, float our arms forward and down, and we're going to come back into that forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold down. Just take a couple breaths here again. All right, and then when you're ready, go ahead and step one foot back and then the other, and we're going to come into that plank pose again. Breathe. One more inhale here. And on an exhale, send your hips up, back, and down. Downward facing dog. Just take a couple breaths here. All right, as you're ready, let's go ahead and send our right leg up. Keep your toes pointed down, so don't send it all the way up. So we're inhaling here, and then on an exhale, bend through that knee, shift forward, look forward, and we're going to step our right foot in between our hands, and then go ahead and lower that left knee down to the mat. So we're coming into a low lunge here. Keep your chest nice and lifted. Again, this is another place where you could use blocks if you would like to lift your chest up. Or you keep your fingertips on the mat. Your knees should be at a 90-degree angle. And you should be able to see your big toe. You feel a nice stretch in your left quad. Take one more inhale here. And then on an exhale, shift your hips back, peel the toes up, and you can walk your hands back, or you can grab your blocks and bring the floor up to you also. And you should feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings here. Take one more inhale. And then on the exhale, go ahead and roll back forward, back into that nice low lunge. We'll curl the left toes under, lift that left knee up, and then we're gonna step our right leg back to meet our left leg, coming back into our plank pose. We'll just take one breath here. And then when you're ready, let's step one foot up behind one hand, your other foot up behind your other hand, and we're back into our forward fold. So again, grab your props if you need them. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, go ahead and lower back down. And we'll just breathe here for a moment. Now on your next inhale, really focus on your center. And on an exhale, use that focus and that power in your torso. Rise all the way up. We're going to lift our arms up overhead and come back into that volcano pose. And breathe. Make sure your shoulders aren't coming up to your ears. We'll take one more big inhale here. And on an exhale, go ahead and shift your hips back, and we'll float our arms back down to the mat, coming back into the forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, let it all go, melting back down. And breathe. Something interesting is going on apparently. All right, after your next exhale, go ahead and bend a little bit through your knees. Make sure your hand palms are planted firmly on the mat. We're gonna step one foot back, then the other one, back in plank pose again. Lots of planks today. Breathe. One more inhale here. And on an exhale, we'll lower down to the mat. Now, for this first one, go ahead and drop your knees and then lower yourself down. I'll give you an option the next time we do this because we're going to do this again. All right, so from here, make sure that your hands are in line with your rib cage. And on an inhale, slowly peel your nose forward and look forward. So we're coming into a little bit of a baby cobra here. Just warming up our upper back. We'll grow this pose a little bit. Take one more inhale. And on an exhale, slowly fold your head back down to the mat. From here, curl your toes under. Press yourself up to all fours. Inhale. Exhale, lift your hips up, back and down, coming back into our downward facing dog. And breathe. All right, on your next inhale, We're gonna lift our left foot up slightly. Keep your toes pointed down towards the mat. And on an exhale, go ahead and bend through that knee. Shift your weight forward, look forward, and we're gonna step our left foot up in between our hands. Lower the right foot to the mat, coming in to that nice low lunge on the other side. So again, this front leg should be at a 90-degree angle. You should be able to see your big toe. Keep your chest nice and lifted. We'll take one more inhale here. And then on an exhale, go ahead and shift back, peeling those left toes up off the mat, curling them towards your face, and you should feel a nice stretch in your left hamstring. All right, go ahead and take one more inhale here. And on an exhale, go ahead and return back to that low lunge. So just roll through that left foot. When you're ready, you're gonna curl your right toes under, lift that knee up. We're gonna step our left foot back to meet our right, coming back into that plank pose again. Take a breath here. And another. So really strengthening. All right. After your next exhale, we're going to go ahead and make our way back to that forward fold, so you can step one foot behind one hand, the other foot behind the other hand, coming back into our forward fold. Again, bend your knees as generously as you'd like. Inhale, we'll come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, lower all the way back down, forward fold, and breathe. On your next inhale, go ahead and focus your strength on that core. We're going to lift our arms up to the side, sweep them up and overhead, and coming back into that strong volcano pose. And breathe. Take one more big inhale. Reach up towards the sky. And then on an exhale, float all the way back down to the mat, coming back into your forward fold. Again, inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it all go, and breathe. All right, when you're ready, from here, we're gonna step one foot back, and then the other, coming back into that plank pose again. We'll take just a couple breaths here. Really make sure you're not dipping down in the hips, and make sure you're not also rising up, so you want a nice flat back. Take one more inhale here. And on your exhale, you can either come down to all fours and then lower down to the belly, or go ahead and slowly lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Make sure your hands are in line with your torso. And then on an inhale, you can slowly rise up to that baby cobra. Or if you'd like a little more, you can press through the hands, straightening through the arms, coming into the full cobra version. And breathe. If you feel any stickiness in your back, or if it's really hurting, lower down some. We'll take one more inhale here. And exhale, let it all go. Lower back to the mat. Yay! All right, go ahead and tuck your toes under. Now this time, you can either press yourself up to all fours and then come back into that downward facing dog, or you can inhale with me, and on an exhale, push yourself up into that plank pose. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, coming back into your downward facing dog. So however you get here, we'll all meet. We'll just take a couple breaths. All right, when you're ready, make sure your left foot is really planted into the mat. Inhale, we'll lift our right foot one more time like we did before. And then on an exhale, we're gonna bend through that knee and then step that foot in between your hands again. Now this time, we're gonna just step your left foot up a little bit. Make sure it is pointed out at a 45-degree angle. So you kind of want it directed towards the left edge of your mat right here. On your next inhale, you're going to really focus on your torso and rise up. So we're going to come into a warrior one posture. So make sure that your front knee is nice and bent at a 90-degree angle. When you look down, you should be able to see your big toe. If not, press your knee out to the side. From here, you can keep your hands on your hips like this. You can bring them to heart center, or if you want to grow the posture, you can lift your arms up towards the sky and breathe. With your left foot, you should be pushing into that left edge of your heel, or the side of your foot. So not towards the arch, the other side. All right, after your next exhale, let's go ahead and lower our hands down. And let's start with our hands at our waist. Go ahead and step your left foot up a little bit more, coming on to that big toe. So make sure that you have a little bit of buoyancy. Now this may be enough for you today, and if that's okay, if it is, that's okay. We're going to go into a warrior three, which is a balancing posture. Now, if you have like a door frame or a wall, you can certainly use it, or blocks. So again, use what you have, or if you want to challenge, you can try it without anything. But when if you'd like to go a little further, you can start to bend at your waist, and then you can start to lift that left toe off the ground. Make sure your toes are pointed down towards the mat, coming into that warrior three posture. Now, if you'd like a little more, you can send your hands out behind you, little airplane arms. Or if you want to go into the full posture, you can send your hands in front of you. I am hitting the door frame here, so let me move back. Or if you're by a door, you can just, you can do that too. Whatever works for you, and if you fall out of it, no big deal. Just try and play again. This is time to play and to experiment. It's a practice. To balance, it really helps to focus on something that's not moving. So if you have something in your environment that is not moving, focus on that. You can also do this with a chair. If you have a chair in front of you that you can hold on to, just play, find what works for you. We'll breathe here. I'll give everyone a moment more to play. You've had enough. Go ahead and step your left foot back on your mat. So let me recenter myself here. So kind of coming into a high lunge now. And we'll slowly lower our hands to the mat. And then when you're ready, step your right foot back to meet your left foot, coming back into that plank pose. We'll just take a couple breaths here, really briefly. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, go ahead and lower back down to your belly, either coming to all fours or just right down to your belly. On your next inhale, go ahead and rise up to your cobra posture. It's going to be a baby cobra or full cobra, intermediate cobra. One more big inhale here. And exhale, go ahead and lower down. Inhale, we'll tuck the toes under. And then you can either push up to all fours or to a plank. And then on your exhale, lift your hips up, back, and down, coming back into that downward facing dog. And breathe. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and lift your left toes up, keeping them dialed down towards the mat. Exhale, bend through the knees, shift forward, look forward. We're going to step our left foot in between our right hands, or in between our hands. I guess both of our hands are not right. When you're ready, you can step that right foot up a little bit. Make sure your toes are pointed out slightly at a 90-degree angle. And your feet should be on parallel train tracks. They shouldn't be directly in line with each other. This will also help with your balance. All right. Inhale, go ahead and rise up. So we're going to come into our warrior one posture on this side. Again, you should be at a 90-degree angle. You should be able to see your big toe. Hands can be at the waist, the heart, or you can lift them up towards the ceiling. And breathe. We'll take one more big inhale here. And then exhale. Let's go ahead and lower our hands down if they are not already. All right, let's go ahead and shift our weight to our left foot and then come up to our right big toe. And I'm going to recenter on my mat a little bit since that was a problem the last time. And then when you're ready, so find your focal point wherever it is. Take a nice big inhale. Trust that you've got this. Don't expect that you're going to fall over, because you may not. Trust that you know where you are in your body, in this space, and really focus on the feeling. Again, if any of this is much too much, that's okay. Lower back down. That's why I'm giving you these options. So you may just be here today, and that's okay. Or you can grab onto a chair or a wall or couch, whatever you have around you at home. If you want to play the full posture, then when you're ready, you'll go ahead and slowly lift your right toes up off the mat. Make sure they're still pointing down towards the mat. Fall over, lap it off, shake it off. Try again. Again, with your hands, they can be at your waist. You can have them in a prayer position. You can send them back like airplane arms, or you can send them forward. And breathe. Take one more inhale. And then on an exhale, go ahead and lower that right foot back down to the mat. So we're going to, again, come kind of into that high lunge position. So bend through your left foot, make any adjustments you need to. Inhale and then exhale. Go ahead and lower your torso down, placing your hands on the mat. We're going to step our left foot back to meet our right foot, coming back into that plank posture again. And breathe. Take one more inhale here. And on your exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down to the mat. Whew. That was intense. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and rise up into your cobra. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way back down. All right, we'll turn our toes under. Inhale, push up to all fours or to plank. Exhale, shift your hips up, back, and down. We're going to slow it all down, I promise. All right, on your next inhale, look forward. Make your way up to the top of the mat again. You can step forward, you can take little baby steps, whatever works for you. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Cooling off just a little bit, letting all of that go. When you're ready, go ahead and roll all the way up to a standing position. We're going to lift our shoulders up, back, and down, coming back into that mountain pose. I'm fixing my clothing. Not trying to give anyone on here a show. And if you weren't able to get into that Warrior 3 posture yet, don't worry. You saw me fall out of it. I had to adjust, and this is a new space, so that I'm trying out. I feel like the light is better. You can see me a little better. I don't have dogs playing and running about, so you know, it's all a practice. We're all doing the best we can. So remember that in this holiday season. It's easy to get frustrated and focus on what we have to do, but everyone's doing that. Everyone's focusing on what they have to do, not realizing that everyone's focusing on what they have to do, and just showing some compassion and some love can really make a big difference. It helps us not to feel as frustrated with others or even with ourselves. So if you were upset that you couldn't do that pose or you fell out of it, it's okay. Let it go. It's just a practice. You can keep trying it, and eventually one day you'll get there. It may take time. It may take years. All right, so now that we're nice and grounded, let's continue to cool off a little bit. So bring your feet wide on your mat, hands on the outside of your thighs. Inhale, look forward. You can even, if you want to do a little super person pose here, you can. And then on an exhale, slowly hinge forward, bringing your hands on the outside of your shins. Now from here, if you can reach your fingertips down to the mat, go ahead and do that. This is another place. I'm going to shift to where you can bring your blocks if you need to bring the floor up to you, or if you have a pillow or just anything around you. Or if you have a chair, you can even just kind of rest on the chair too. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. Making sure you guys can still see me here. All right. Now, if you are able to get your hands to the mat, oh, there's Fritz again. Hello. You can bring your hands. The goal would be to bring your hands to the inside of your feet towards the arches. And this is kind of setting you up to start doing those headstands and balancing poses. So eventually in this posture, you're going to be able to bring your head down to the mat. My head doesn't reach there most days. It's very rare if it does. So don't Don't try and push yourself to get there. Only go to where it feels comfortable to you. So really use this time to relax any stress on your back. Just imagine any stress rolling off back into the earth. All right, we'll take one more big inhale. And on an exhale, go ahead and make your way back up. Oh. And we'll heel toe our feet back underneath us. Just hips distance apart. If you need to walk it out or shake it out, go ahead. Then when you're ready, loop your shoulders up, back and down. We're going to come back into that mountain pose, back into stillness, and breathe. All right, so we have now, we're moving some energy around. Let's take our feet a little hip distance apart. We're going to go ahead and move any stagnant energy that might be in your body. This move looks funny. So what you'll do is you'll kind of just swing your arms side to side, coming up on, oops, I don't want to hit my doorknob there. Coming just kind of side to side, swinging your arms from one side to the next. Make sure that you are coming up off your heel as you're twisting to the side. You can hit your booty in the front of your hip as you go side to side. If you'd like, you can take one arm and bring it up towards your chest right here, just kind of hitting that. So you'll just kind of go side to side, going back and forth. Fritz, get out of there. So this is called, I've heard it called different things. The most familiar term that I've heard is knocking on heaven's door. This is used in Tai Chi and Qigong and yoga, so it's used in a lot of different modalities. And again, you can kind of place your arms wherever you are, and you don't really have to like hit yourself very hard. Just kind of a light tap, like if you were behind somebody at a concert and they're taller than you and you can't see and you need them to move, and you're like, out of my way. About that kind of pressure. So just go side to side, have fun with it. You can be a little bouncy with it if you'd like. Smile. I'm on here looking foolish doing this, so you can do it with me. And what this is said to do is just to remove any stagnant energy. Right, Fritz? Find your blanket. All right, and then we'll start to slow it down. So bring the arms out and then just plant your feet and just bring it back to stillness. You can shorten your stance, bringing your feet a little bit more under you, coming back into that mountain pose. And we'll take a few breaths here. If you'd like to close down your eyes, you can. And really feel that flush of energy as it moves through your body. All right. So how you feel? Feeling good? Okay, we're gonna make our way back down to the mat. We're gonna stop standing. We're gonna really, I know I said we were gonna start cooling off, and we are. We're gonna cool off a little bit more. But first, speaking of concerts, we're gonna practice for concerts, sporting events, festivals. Any place where there is a porta potty, especially if you are a female, you know you don't want to just sit on it. I don't want to sit on it. Maybe you do. I don't. I think it's gross. No judgment if you do, but if you don't want to, a really good posture, or actually we're going to go into a posture that will help you next. So go ahead, make sure your feet are hip distance apart. When I say hip distance apart, I mean hip distance apart. Any women practicing, we tend to think our hips are clear out here. So not the accessories to your hips, your hips. So I'm going to come to the front edge of my mat, and then, excuse me, goodness, moving lots of things around. All right, so go ahead and bend through the knees, sink your hips back. So we're going to come into this little squat posture. Now, you may have a tendency to want to stick the booty out, coming down. Really lengthen up through your torso, tuck the tailbone a little bit. So you should have a nice flat back like I have here. Now, you may not come all the way, down to parallel. That's fine. You don't have to. Now, you can keep your hands up in like a prayer position, or you can extend them up overhead. And breathe. So we're coming into a chair posture. That will help you hover on those porta potties. We're going to inhale, exhale, see if you can sink just a little bit deeper. One more inhale, and then on an exhale, let it all go. Bring the hands down to the mat, send the booty up, straightening through the legs into that forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it all go. Whew. And breathe. I think you guys have one more plank pose in you. So we're going to do one more plank pose. Just going to be to get down to the ground. This is the last one of the day. All right. Let's go ahead, bend through your knees a little bit. We'll step one foot back, then the other, coming into our last plank pose. Let's make it the best one yet. Send those shoulder blades left to right. Nice flat back, looking forward. Inhale, exhale. Feel that shake, that tremble. You're alive. Embrace it. One more inhale. And on an exhale, shift the hips up, back, and down. Push through the arms, coming back into our downward facing dog. Whew. This will be the last one of these for the day, too. We'll take one more breath here. And then on your exhale, go ahead and lower down to your knees. Woo! All right. From here, let's bring our knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift your hips back. You can walk your palms forward. And if you like, you can bring your forehead down to the mat, coming into an extended child's pose. And from here, just breathe. On your next inhale, ow, he's on my ponytail. All right, on your next inhale, we're gonna go ahead and look forward. You can walk yourself up and then shift over to one side, and we're gonna send our legs out long, Actually, I'm gonna turn. Fritz, go lay down. No, go lay down. We're gonna lay down now. Go lay down on your blanket. Go lay down on your blanket. Go up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and come to lie flat on your back. So however you make it there is okay with me. Just do it safely. All right. Woo, on our back, feels good. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and bring both of our knees into our chest and just hug them in. Let's stretch out our back a little bit. Whew, we did a lot of core work, so my back's a little sore. So we'll just stretch that lower back out a little bit, give it some love. All right, when you are ready, we're gonna keep our right knee in under chest. Go ahead and extend your left leg out along the mat. A nice big inhale, and then on an exhale, go ahead and cross that right knee over the left, or that right leg over the left, and you can just turn over. So we're going into a little bit of a supine twist. So you're gonna bring that knee across the midline over to the left. I like to take my foot and place it on top of my thigh. Your arms can either be out at a big Texas T. I like to keep the arm of my leg that's twisting on the ground, so in this case it is my right. And then I like to take my left hand and just place it gently on my thigh. That's my preference, but if you don't like that, you can keep them out at a nice Texas T just for stability. This gives it a little bit extra push. Your right shoulder blade should be on the ground though, so don't push so hard or try to come so far over that that comes up. And then you can turn to look at your right hand and just breathe here. All right, when you're ready, we'll go ahead and return to center. I'm going to bring my knees back into my chest one more time. While you're here, just compare both sides of your body. All right, from here, let's go ahead and extend our right leg along our mat, keeping our left knee in at our chest. Inhale, and then on the exhale, go ahead and bring that left knee across the right. Again, your hands can be out at a Texas T, or just whatever feels right to you. And then you can turn to look towards that left hand. Make sure to keep breathing here. When you're ready, we're going to come back up to center one more time. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest one last time. Give it one last extra stretch. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and plant our feet on the mat. Go ahead and bring your feet as wide as the mat, and then bring your knees in together. So we're going to come into a little constructive rest pose. From here, just breathe, start to let everything go. Let the practice go, let all the nutrients of it just seep into your body. And when you're ready, go ahead and extend out the right leg, and then the left, bringing it as wide as the mat. foot's in Chi-Cat's bed. And then you can close down the eyes if it feels good to you, and then just relax in our final pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. Now I'm going to go quiet for just a moment and let you rest, but I will come back to you when it's time to start making our way out of the pose. So the card I pulled for today's practice is Hummingbird Spirit. And its message is be here now. The actual message is nectar is everywhere, but Hummingbird Spirit is here to remind you that flying from flower to flower and being all over the place wastes precious energy. Be still. Be here, now, in the present moment, enjoying the sweetness and sustenance available to you. Focus on one flower today, just one. Nectar is there for you, and Hummingbird Spirit's message is that wherever you put your attention, there your energy flows. Are you focused on the sweetness or on finding something better somewhere else? Always yearning and feeling that life is not enough and you are not enough? All you seek is right here, right now. Appreciate the present, and you will see that you are where you need to be and in enjoying what you are entitled to enjoy in this timeless and perfect moment. So if you are able to stay in Shavasana, stay as long as time allows. If you need to get going, then slowly start to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. Then when you're ready, you can place both feet on the ground, knees bent. And when you're ready, go ahead and roll to your favorite side. Once you're in your favorite side, go ahead and come into a little bit of a fetal position. You can use your bottom arm as a pillow. And then when you're ready, go ahead and slowly push yourself up to a seated position, bringing your head and neck up last. So thank you so much for spending your time and your precious energy with me today, and for taking this time for yourself and for your self-care during this busy holiday season. Fritz says thank you also. Please, this is on my Patreon account, but you can also go to my YouTube account or my channel, which I'll link. I think last time I said it was here, but it was actually here. So we'll try that this time. So maybe it's there. Still, okay. I was making sure that wasn't on camera. I had to move. There we go. All right. So thank you so much again for spending your time and your energy with me and for supporting my channel, Patreon or YouTube, both. I really appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week. Namaste.